Covenant on solid ground, we will rip their heads from their spines and throw them away laughing. Am I right, Marines?
Sir, yes, sir.
What's going on, Pop Squad? Andrew, Luke, back again. This time we managed to get a hold of the new Halo Pops that are just coming out.
So great. I love them so much. But I'm really excited for these. They finally announced this new wave actually a good amount of months ago, almost half a year ago. And we finally got them. Super excited. They said they were coming out in July. Came out in June. So happy.
Yeah.
Obviously, favorite game of all time. If you know anything about the channel, I can't stop talking about it. Somehow, it always segues into Halo. Really happy about that. Somehow, it's like, oh, did you see that crack on the street? Oh, that's runs the cracks in Halo 2 when you have the super jump. It just somehow, finds a way back into the situation, the conversation.
Right. But back to the Pops. They all look really great. I guess we'll start from the beginning here. You got Chief holding Cortana. A lot of people have criticized this pop, for one, because they think it looks like the Commander Cody pop that released about a year ago. He's holding the Emperor. He's holding Cortana. Kind of the same stance.
Same. Very, very, very similar mold. His hand is like slightly lower.
Same stance. Both guys in helmets.
Yeah, holding someone in their hand, the same size. But we were talking about this before. Really, they have this little bit of detail on her to show that she actually is. If you don't know anything about Halo, Master Chief, he has an AI in a chip in the back of his head. What happens is he takes the chip out and her hologram is there. And this could actually be from either Halo 2 or Halo 3 because in both he actually has her as a hologram in his hand. But either way, it looks beautiful. They went for this wave, just to preface everything as we continue. They went with this old school design.
Yeah, I mean, they call it just the Halo set, and I think the boxes look cool. They have I think this is the Halo 1 logo even originally, but these characters are mostly, 2, 3, or at least the designs are based off that.
That's great. This looks so good. Really love the pop, but I think this, you know what, I'm not going to say it's my favorite, but one I think looks really cool, and they're coming out with another version for E3. It is Chief with the energy sword. It looks really cool. He's in his action pose with the sword. So actually going back to which I think it was a trailer in 3 or actually some gameplay where they show him just freaking pull the sword out. Actually it's Elites, so that's not true, but they have him with the sword. It looks really cool. He did it in 3 in one of the videos in 3. He has a sword, so I think it's just a callback.
For me, I think the iconic moment is Halo 1 Silent Cartographer. When you go into the structure finally, and there's that little cutscene, there's an elite like chieftain or whatever, and he pulls out the sword.
And you say, what?
And I always think that's kind of like, I guess what they're trying, in my head.
But I just think it's so cool. He's like it's like a lightsaber, but it's got that ancient look to it. It looks so beautiful. I love that they did this with Chief, and it's a great mold. And
I do like with the 2 Master Chief pops that they did something completely different from what they did with the old Master Chief pops that they did originally. Yeah. Master Chief was and Halo was the first game pops they made way back when, and you could see kind of the evolution of pops and kind of the evolution of the character. We have him right here actually. He has the BR and the AR. Now he's got the sword. He's got Cortana.
Every single one is
trying to do something different with him.
Oh, I love it.
Pretty soon he's going to become Deadpool and they're going to have a million of them.
Please. I hope not, because I'm going to have a million of them.
Master Chief and Wizard Robe or something like Deadpool.
Oh my, or Panda Chief. Oh, Lord. But,
he'd be on his shelf.
Yeah. But it's great. I love him. And they went with the great Sergeant Johnson next. Such a great pop, such a great character in the game. Iconic character, led the Marines. He's like that stereotypical sergeant, a hard ass, always says something good, something like I know what the ladies like. Just those
it's kind of
like
he's kind of like the guy from Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, like Arnie Ermy, who just passed away actually. He's a lot of stuff is based off that. Yeah, for real, R.I.P. But they really base stuff off of stuff like that, and I think he's just so great. He has his kind of lines, and then he has the Spartan laser in his hands, and it looks so cool. Such a good weapon. This is Halo 3 because we won't even spoil it for you. He has this weapon in Halo 3.
Is it really a spoiler for a
Yeah,
10-year-old
it's
game?
fine. It's actually now it's more than 10 years. It's almost it's a little over 10 years, but such a great mold. But let's get down to the chase, and it is actually we were pointing to the chase actually the whole entire time. If you look at that, well, you can't. I'm going to show you guys, but you can see they're the same exact mold except for one slight difference, and that is the cigar.
Yeah, we've talked about in our other videos, definitely a lazy chase, but we had to get our hands on it.
But yeah, the fact that we were able to get it, who cares? It's great. I'm excited. I'm glad that it was captured, received, owned, because it doesn't matter. It's Halo. It's just like the fanboys always coming out. But great, yeah. Just he just had looks like he has a little piece of extra dirt on his lip, and we said it was lazy, but.
Lazy, we still love it. We still had to get it. Yeah. But I guess if I had to pick, if they were going to do a chase, I would have either liked to see in a different color Elite, a different color Chief, or maybe a Buck without his helmet or something. I think that would have been something a little different.
I agree. Or if the Chief sword was the chase, I could even understand that.
Yeah.
Or like him holding the plasma, like the Halo 2 trailer when they first showed it. Like.
Yeah, I guess he could have, instead of Cortana, maybe he had like a grenade or something different in his hand.
But still, I mean, so cool, and I'm sure.
Just kind of nitpicking.
I'm sure they're gonna come out with more.
Right.
I'm sure this is.
Yeah, definitely. If they, got the Halo licensing back, they'll probably use it.
You better believe they're gonna use it. And
goddamn, better believe it. I guess.
An ODST favorite, Buck. So this is Buck, and actually, it's supposed to be Buck from Halo 3 ODST. Looks great, and I love this the helmet. The ODST helmet is if you play the game, is very iconic. It looks really cool. Nothing too flashy about it, but the fact that the visor looks cool. I think it looks great, and this is supposed to be Buck when he was in ODST before he became an actual Spartan.
Yeah, the orbital drop shock troopers. Yeah, that was not in the now.
Yeah, their motto is feet first into hell, and it's great. It's just a great.
Buck has kind of gotten. Iconic status in the Halo universe. Yeah. One, because he started off as one of these. They're ODST aren't Spartans. Yeah. They're ODST. They're kind of like the special forces guys. They're a little step under.
They a lot of times they're expendable. But
then he's worked his way up. He's played by Nathan Fillion, who kind of is in cult status among science fiction.
Cult following for sure behind him, and I think that's part of the reason why so many people like him. And I think it's nice because then you get people who didn't really pay attention to Halo to start picking it up. Like, oh, this is a cool thing about it.
Yeah, I mean, he has a following wherever he goes. He did Firefly, he did a lot of different stuff.
It's like if people know about him, definitely never heard them say bad things about him, but it's either you like him or like, yeah, he's not bad. It's like, it's never something bad about him.
Yeah, and I mean, they always love using his face in games, so...
Every game, they always use his face.
Yeah, he gets the most screen time of anybody, regardless.
But let's get down to
business.
The most beautiful pop.
I think this is my favorite of this line because he looks really good.
It looks so good. Arbiter with his sword, it looks so great. Such a nice pop. I really just, it's just such a great character in the game alone. But to add the fact of the mechanic that they actually added before the game, just to have him in there, just great overall in general.
Right. I believe Halo, I obviously can't pinpoint it, but I think they were one of the first games where you have branching story paths. I mean, you obviously have to play everything in Halo 2, but, you get to play as the villains and the hero. Yeah.
And I think, in short, Arbiter was just considered to have, he let the ring in Halo 1 get destroyed, so they branded him as a heretic, and the only way that he would survive and make it up to him is if he was, worked at the whims of the people who were in charge, the prophets. So they branded him, gave him this armor, which is like an old school throwback to their race, the elites, and they would do that. So in general, that's what he's doing. So you actually see the enemies, what they're doing, and it's so cool because they definitely have in other games like you different parts of a story, but they don't tell you good versus evil.
Right, which I think is
just so great.
For anybody who did have more questions about this world, it is definitely a world and story building thing to see what the elites are and everything. And that's why Arbiter looks so different from other elites. If you were curious about it.
Yeah, instead of just the regular armor, like smooth armor, he has this old armor. It's just so great. Definitely that the pop is just so beautiful.
Right, and I've kind of been clamoring since I saw the original Halo pops. I was like, oh, it'd be so cool if they had an Elite pop.
Yeah, they probably couldn't do it. The molds maybe at the time weren't as advanced.
And I guess if they did an Elite and he looked like how original Sonic looked, I would have cried.
Yeah, well,
I'd been like, I would have been like, man, he has to get that.
This is terrible. Yeah, but the only thing that would be better than this is the gold armor, which is from the newer Halo. If you're keeping up with it with Halo 5, the gold armor looks so cool. Even though the silver armor is iconic, I just love the gold armor.
Do they explain why he has the gold armor? As opposed to the silver?
So what happens is they don't explain it in the game, which is one of the issues with it. But when
the Chief just shows up, he's like, damn, he's got that bling.
When the Covenant breaks up, he becomes the leader of the people who don't want to be part of the Covenant anymore, which is it's the race of people who just want to use the rings and they don't know they don't understand them. These people are like, I just want to go about living our lives. So he becomes the leader, and he's actually the leader of the Vidam house, which is the elite house of Sankilos, which is their planet. But he's also a leader of everyone who's against the Covenant now. So they give him this gold armor to show his rank that's even higher, like transcended his rank before of Arbiter. Now he's like the leader of the people. So
wow, hearing you explain it like that, it's kind of like how there's so many different sects of Christianity.
Yeah. Well, but same thing with in all in all the games, you have the Grunt Miner who has orange, but if they're rank higher, they give them red. And then if you get to the highest rank, and then switch back to elites, if you're the highest rank of elite, it's gold. So it kind of makes sense that they make his armor gold.
Right.
So, but I think it's cool. I just love these pops. I would give these pops a 4.5 out of 5 just because they could have. I definitely think that this chase to Sergeant Johnson was a little bit lazy, and they could have definitely done other poses with Johnson, like this. Like him with Guilty Spark, who he held on to for so long in Halo 3.
That, or maybe give him a different gun, or something different.
I mean, they could have done other stuff, but I just think really everything else looks beautiful. I think that's really issues. I don't know how this compares to the other waves, though. The first wave is beautiful, but it's obviously it's very
beautiful. But you could see that the molds are much more advanced. There's a lot more detail. There's a lot more posing. Yeah. But I do think Grunt Miner
favorite
might look the best out of all of them, even though he was one of the originals.
I really hope they do it again because I would love to have a Grunt army. I'd love to set up like a battle scenario of them versus Chief. That'd be so cool. I just really just a huge fan. I think I'm glad they've done this. I'm glad they did this wave, and I'm sure they're gonna do more because they were asking once they got the license. What are we gonna do? What would you guys like us to do? And they went nuts with it, and I'm knocked out of the park. I'm really happy about it. Halo's just been such a big part of our lives for sure. So
definitely.
So if you guys have any comments and maybe some Halo stories.
Yeah, maybe some Halo stories, experiences, people you played with, people you hated playing it with.
Oh man, did we have those?
People who were always complaining, or just
well,
somebody who ruined the game for you.
Ruined the game or even made it fun. I mean, this is something that if you Halo community is huge. It's definitely not as peak as it was when this stuff came out, but we're still a part of it. Still love it. If you guys have anything to say, please let us know below. And as always,
happy hunting.